everyone, welcome back to the Life of Valerie Allison. Okay, so for today's video, I am going to be doing part 2 of extended breastfeeding Q&A. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into this video so that it doesn't get as long as the last one. Okay, so I just have a few more questions here from my Q&A. My first question from this is from Brittany, and it says, at what age do you think you will stop breastfeeding? That is a very good question, Brittany. I have no idea. I always thought that I would breastfeed until my son was a year, and that was it. That was my thought process in my head, a year and I'll be done. Didn't happen that way. Again, we are still 2 years and 2 months into this, and he is still breastfeeding. The reason why I haven't weaned him per se is because I see that he struggles to let it go. He does not seem to want to wean, and I feel bad about that. Like, I don't want to make him feel bad. Like, I don't want it to be a bad experience, this whole weaning process. So both myself and my husband feel like we should let him wean himself. So I'm not sure when that's gonna happen. Again, I had never thought that was gonna be my choice, but the more that time goes on, the more that I feel strongly about that. I do have my days where I'm like, that's it, I'm done breastfeeding, I don't want to do this anymore. But it's not very often. At this point, it's just become a way of life for me. The only thing that I am concerned is just the process itself. I just want him to have take a good experience from this and not be like traumatized or anything. So yeah, so that's just what I want for him. I just don't want it to be him like crying and kicking and screaming that he wants to breastfeed. And right now that's where he's at. Like, he does not want to leave it, and I'm okay with that. He's okay with that, and my husband. So as a family, we're okay with that, and so that's how we're gonna deal with things for right now. Okay, so the next question that I have here is from a baby vlogs, and that's from Brianna, and the question is, throughout your pregnancy, did you always want to breastfeed? Yes, even before I was pregnant, I knew that I wanted to breastfeed. I didn't realize though how hard it would be. I thought it was going to be way more natural, but it didn't happen that way. It was a lot more of a struggle than I thought it was gonna be. But yes, I always wanted to breastfeed. I always thought that it was gonna be something beneficial for my son, or for my future baby. At that time, I didn't know if he was gonna be a boy or a girl. And something that, again, that I wanted to just grow that bond with my child. Okay, the next question is from Jen's Big Blend, from Jennifer, and it says, what do you think is the best part about breastfeeding? So the best part for me is definitely the bond. Like, I love that bond that I have with my son. When he's hurt, if something happens where he falls or something, he always comes to look for that comfort. If he is not feeling well, even when we're like on a plane and, you know, maybe his ears are kind of hurting from the plane, it's just a comfort for him, and I love being that comfort to my son. I just love that bond that we have from breastfeeding. Yeah, so that's what I enjoy about breastfeeding. That's the best part for me. What is the most challenging part? I would say the most challenging part has definitely been, there was like a time where he would not stop moving. Like, he was literally doing gymnastics breastfeeding. And that was kind of hard for me because I was like, stop moving. Like, why are you moving so much? And then the other thing was definitely the breastfeeding aversion. Like, I hate that feeling. I don't like it at all. And when it's like all done, I'm like so happy that I don't have that anymore, because that is the worst. Definitely, I definitely do not like that. And then if we're talking about challenging, the beginning was definitely the most challenging as far as getting everything to work correctly, making sure that I was providing enough milk. That was definitely challenging too. Okay, then the last question that I have here is from Annie, and it says, what was your first breastfeeding experience like? Okay, so I'm just gonna try to touch on this, I guess. Maybe I'll do another video on exactly how my breastfeeding experience was from beginning to now. If you want that type of video, go ahead and comment down below that you'd like to see something like that and let me know. But basically, I had a very challenging first breastfeeding experience. So when I was in the hospital, everything seemed to be fine. He was latching like the lactation consultant thought that he should be, and everything seemed to be okay. But then once I got home, I noticed that my supply was kind of low, or at least I wasn't pumping enough for what I thought I was supposed to be. In the end, I think I realized that I was pumping the right amount and he was getting the right amount, but because he was cluster feeding so much, I was worrying that he wasn't getting enough, but in reality he was. So that I will take away from me for baby number 2. And then after that, I ended up getting like a lot of open wounds. Like it would be one breast and then the other, and then finally one breast, just like that wound would not close, like it just wouldn't close. And I finally, even though I was going to breastfeeding support groups, it wasn't enough. I really needed to go to a lactation consultant and get the help that I needed. And at that point, they provided me polysporin, and I had to get a prescription for that, and then that closed up the wound right away, and I was so happy after that. I still struggled with my supply, so I did have to supplement. He just was always hungry, like it just always hungry, more than I could keep up with, and I was just really tired. So that's kind of like a touch on my experience. So it was a struggle in the beginning. It was hard, but we got through it, and we've been breastfeeding ever since. So once I got through that, I want to say the first 4 months, once we got through that, then it was a lot easier. But most people, I think, or at least most of the breastfeeding moms that I've talked to, they've only had like a hard time for the first like maybe 3 weeks. So that's why I think I was also surprised by how much I was struggling to breastfeed. So yeah, so that's pretty much it though. That was my experience. It was kind of hard, but there's a little bit more to it. And again, if you do want to hear the whole story, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to share that with you guys. And even if you don't, I might still make a video on it, because I feel like it could be some type of help or inspiration to other women to just keep pressing through, because breastfeeding can be hard. As natural as it's supposed to be, it's very challenging. It's a struggle, but there's so many other rewards after you get through it. So I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you have any other questions for me on extended breastfeeding, please leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe. We're still trying to reach 200 subscribers, and I think we are at 117, so we are chugging along. I am so happy about that. And yes, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, and have a great day. Sorry, I didn't know what to say. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.